Trent Stonehouse is the CEO and founder of Social Realtr, which is a digital marketing agency specializing in content creation and video marketing for real estate agents and professionals. Under Trent's leadership, Social Realtr has become a trusted partner for over 1,000 agents and brokers. And Trent is joining me today in this interview. Trent, thank you for joining me to share a little bit about what Social Realtr does. And it's a bit unique and niche for what your service offering is. And I know there's a lot of noise out there with social media marketing. So I'm really excited to dive a bit deeper into what it is Social Realtr does. But before we do, I'd like to start at the beginning origins of your services, and would like to learn a bit about what inspired you to create this company.
Yeah, well, Elena, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, if we take it back from the beginning, the origin of the company, I started it basically through myself when I figured out YouTube back in 2012, and I had built my own following up there in about an 18-month period. I grew an audience of over 30,000 subscribers. I had over 6 million views. One of my best videos was like well over 1 million. And so I really got into the social media space that way. It became like what you would call like an influencer, right? And from there, I got signed by a label here in Vancouver, Canada, where I'm from, and called BBTV. And they really kind of brought me more in that corporate space. And I just started making content for small businesses. And just over time, it just felt like more and more realtors were coming this way. And I just dialed it in for realtors. I was like, hey, I'm just going to rebrand this thing, going to just go right for realtors. And we built it from there. And so about 5 years of just solid, just focus on realtors. And about last year was probably the big year for us where we became more of like, I'd say, a national brand where, realtors all across Canada and US are really know about us. And I think it's through the efforts too of, the relationships we have through like Tom Ferry, Glover, Club Wealth, Bill Pipes, etc. But that's the origin, and I kind of like just brought a little bit too.
Skyrocketed to the to 2025. So would you say that you were a content creator before it was mainstream, basically?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
was on YouTube like back when everyone was still trying to like figure out how you do things, and so I got lucky, and I realized with YouTube early that it was an SEO play without even knowing what search engine optimization was really. I just knew, hey, if I put these keywords all throughout here and I do it this way, I'm going to get more exposure, and it really did work. And I still do it to this day for clients and such. But it's a huge thing that people often overlook. They don't really take time to really look at what they should be, how they should be optimizing their videos. But I learned it early, 2012, had a lot of success, and that's where it brought me here today. So
My curiosity's piqued. I'm going a little bit off topic, but what kinds of content did you create back in 2012?
I'm just kidding. So I was really into I was really big into like gaming, and I was a professional gamer, and I got really heavy into like esports and all that, and I was able to really get a lot of traction, just in awareness through obviously the social platforms, but being really good at video games, and that translated into understanding so many different platforms, and that's why I was like, hey, I'm just gonna sell this thing to small business owners because they can't figure it out. I got the sauce. Here it is.
Yeah. So how did you enter the space of real estate?
Yeah, I mean, it just came organically for me. I had been selling people in my local city, like Vancouver, Canada, and just came across more and more realtors. I actually found a lot of success, and I say this, make note if any realtors are watching this, BNI, uh, and I recommend BNI to like any small business, local service provider. And from there, I got a lot of great connections to realtors. And then it was just one after another after that, right? So,
Yeah. And then how did you start to learn and research all about the real estate industry? Because one could say it's too late. Like it's so overpopulated and there's way too much content online. Like, you can't compete anymore.
Oh, any realtor that comes to me and says that, I chuckle. I talk to so many realtors. Like I've spoken in front of thousands, and so many of them haven't even picked up a camera and started recording themselves. There is so many people that are not consistent if they do film and record themselves. And I love this saying. It's content's king, consistency's queen. And people drop the ball on that consistency part every single day, right? So that's what it is at the end of the day. The other thing too is like we also do the aspect of ranking um, realtors higher in local Google search results through Google Business Profiles, and I, it's like 99% of realtors don't even have a Google profile, or if they do, it's not verified. And so anyone that comes in saying, "Hey, you know, I think it's too late for me," not at all. Like not at all. Like there you're leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table if you're not making content and you're not ranking on a top position on Google, and your competition is very slim.
Yeah. Okay. So you've thrown out a lot of big buzzwords: content creation, SEO, YouTube video. How does that translate into a company providing help and services to agents that's actually helpful? Like, can you provide an overview of what Social Realtor does to actually help real estate professionals?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lots of buzzwords there. But yeah, like what we do is we provide a cost-efficient social media management solution and SEO solution to realtors. So what we do is we take their social platforms, and we take their Google profile, we get those optimized, we edit your videos, and we write the captions, choose the best hashtags, select the best keywords, and then we distribute it for you across every platform: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We even upload your content to Google, and that's overlooked. I tell people all the time, your number one uh, social media platform, your focus should be Google Business Profiles. And when I say that, people are like, Google Business Profiles. Yeah, Google Business Profiles, social media profile. It's kind of designed to be the same way. And people neglect that. And I've just put so much focus there because I'm telling you, like as a local service business owner, that's where the money is. But yeah, I think I answered that question, but it's that would be what I'm going to submit.
And do you practice what you preach? Are you a content creator today still in 2025?
Me, I'm kind of like the cobbler with the holes in the shoe right now, but I am bringing it back here very soon, and I'm going to be doing a big push on for my own branding personally, and it'll kind of support what Social Realtor is going. But yeah,
Yeah. So how does the process work when an agent is working with you for creating the content, distributing the content? Like, is it up to the agent to come up with the content strategy, create the script, record the video, even decide where should the video be recorded? What should the background be? Should it be like selfie view? Should it be professional? Like, how does that whole process work? How much involvement is your company versus how much falls on the agent to make decisions?
that's a great question. And I get this probably the most, even from agents. They're like, "Hey, what kind of equipment do I need?" I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "What do I do?" Just pick up your phone. This is the moneymaker. Right here is the moneymaker. This is where you do your prospecting, you answer your emails, whatever. But this is where you hold up the phone and you just start recording. That's all you need. In fact, that's what I do. I use my phone. I use a $50 mic from uh, Amazon, and then a ring light, and rock and roll. That's it. If you're able to then just record even just small videos, like 1 minute, 2 minutes long, send that to our team through our app, then you're done. That's it. Our team then takes it, we optimize it, we edit it, we write the captions, the hashtags, the keywords, and then we upload it for you too. So literally all the agent has to do is record. And then it comes down to, oh, what do I say? All that stuff. I tell people, go local, grow local. Position yourself as a community realtor. And if you can do that and you say that enough times, people are going to remember it. And so, as a local realtor, go to your favorite coffee shops, your favorite steakhouse, go interview those local business owners, right? What's some history? What are some landmarks? And so we'll advise people through that as well. We also have something that we call the 100K Video Club on Facebook, and it's a free Facebook group where we've actually got three amazing real estate agents on our payroll who are coaches and literally coach you every single week for free on anything that you're looking for in terms of like how to be consistent. Here are some video ideas, how to best equipment, things like that. And you can go in there and you can ask questions to them. And these are realtors who have already built their business using, video as well to help them. So, it's someone that's already doing it that can help you accomplish this. So yes, we do give you support with the topic ideas. Yes, we coach you on how to be the very best. And we give you all the tools you need to be able to make this a really simple process. Again, all you need to do is pick up that phone. And I think that's the number one thing I hear at I just like side note, whenever I go to these conferences, it's all these like coaching conferences on like, hey, how to make more sales, all this stuff. And the number one thing they teach, like I hear that people just drive home, is pick up your phone. Pick up your phone. So realtors, if there's a realtor listening to this, it's the same thing for prospects. Pick up the phone. That's it. Start recording. It's that easy.
Yeah, there were three things that just came to mind. I wrote them down because if I don't write stuff down that pop in my head, I forget immediately. So sorry, I was multitasking. So the three things that came to mind is one, if you think about comedians, there's a comedian that I really like following, that I just started following like last year, a couple years ago. His name's Nate Bargatze. He was in an interview and they asked him like, do you ever like how do you come up with new material? How do you make sure you're not just saying the same stuff on stage all the time? And he says, "Oh, my whole lot, my everyday life, I'm constantly trying to think of what I'm experiencing right now. How can I create a bit from this?" And you can kind of think of like that whenever you're an agent. Like any conversation you're having, or you're listening to, or any interaction you're having, any questions you're receiving from clients, that most likely can be created into a piece of content. Like any question you receive on a call or an appointment, that's a question you can then answer in a video. And he says, yeah, it's exhausting. Like whenever I'm living my everyday life and having to think through, okay, what am I doing? Like, what am I experiencing? And his is like more immersive because he has to set the scene in a comedy show and make it funny. So comedians' lives are a lot harder. But for you, you don't have to think that deep. You just think about questions people are asking and you can just jot it down really quick after appointments or calls or whatnot, to just think through all of your interactions. And then the second idea I had, I was just having a conversation yesterday with one of my longtime clients, and she says, my content strategy is a lot different than a lot of agents. A lot of agents, they try to pre-plan their whole content calendar for a month or 2 months, or they might use ChatGPT to help them, and it's very cookie cutter. And then they'll pre-record their videos in batch, or they'll pre-schedule their content in batch, but there's no emotion behind it. And she says, I create my content on the spot, whether it's just plain text or a text with like a selfie I've made right then and there, or if it's just a video, a family shot. She says, sometimes I'm crying while I'm creating the post because of how much emotion is in it. But she goes, if I wait 2 days to post it, it means nothing. She goes, I have to write it right then and there. She's like, it takes 5 minutes. My goal is to have one post a day and 3 stories a day. And she said, I have to write it right then and there. Otherwise, I'm going to forget what I was feeling in that moment. She says, it only takes 5 minutes. You think that it'll take you an hour or two. She's like, just type it out really fast and just think about what you're experiencing in that moment, kind of like piggybacking off of comedians and what they're experiencing. And then the third one is one of the biggest reasons why I chose the agent I worked with last year is the content that she created. I look forward to even the newsletter she sends. Like, who says that? But I really like her newsletter content and the value she brings with the hyper local content that you mentioned, and just the fun she has on her social media profile. They have like a question of the week where someone goes around the office when they're in the office and like I don't know, just silly questions like the question of the week. I don't remember what they are, but those are just like three ideas that came to mind. Um, what if a client comes to you and says, okay, yes, I know I need to create content, but I just need help creating ideas and I need help with someone like creating a strategy with me. Do you help in that sort of capacity?
No, not yet, but it's came up, people wanting like more of like a strategy. They got their own, team maybe, but that's not something we provide. But it's something that we're aware of that people have asked for, so something that we could, bring forward. But one thing too, I just want to touch on what you said previously. I loved everything you were just saying, and it's like, you were saying like she just what's happening in the moment, like that comedian, documenting it, and that's it. A lot of realtors think it's got to be all about real estate every single time, and it doesn't. You're selling yourself. So the content doesn't have to be knowledge. It can be just about, hey, what's going on in your life? What's going on like that, right? You want people to buy into you, be relatable, humanize yourself. Humanize yourself. They're not going to buy from a logo. They're going to buy from you. They buy from people. I was talking to this real estate agent and she's like, "Yeah, I'm signing up. I'm gonna start working with you guys in like a couple weeks." And I'm like, "Cool, no worries. Just curious, like, what's the hold on for 2 weeks?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just getting my logo done. I just really want the logo and all that." And I'm like, "No problem. We'll see you in 2 weeks. But hey, if that focus is your logo, you're just watering down like everything that you are, right? It's not about the logo. It's about you." So.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So for the visual viewers, which are a large portion, can you or would you be open to sharing some examples of the content that your clients have created and how you've helped edit it and post it to help make it prettier and optimized?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just share my screen and think I can share with sound, right? Is it just share screen or presentation? I
I
think
think
it's
screen.
all right. So yeah, like we got examples on our website here. People can check out socialrealtor.com, realtor with no O, so it's just realtr. And Jerry, for example, I'd love this one. It's super simple. He's literally just set up his tripod, walked towards it, talking about some restaurants in his area that people should check out.
If you haven't checked out some of these great new restaurants in Gallatin, Tennessee, which I call Restaurant Row, I would encourage you to stop by.
Right. And so, what he did is he did that. We showed a little bit of the restaurants there and we added those over top of it. We used any footage that he provided of the food. We found the food from the restaurants as well, used that. From there, we tag the Instagrams of those restaurants as well. So they see it and hopefully they start engaging. We took on every other aspect of it, captions, hashtags, all of it. But yeah, listings and all. Like this guy, I like this one too. Like he's just sitting in front of his iPhone. Like again, you don't need anything fancy. You can do something like this.
Old Town Orange is about to get seriously delicious. 3 brand new dining spots are opening soon. And if you love food, it needs to be on your radar. First up is Burritos Lama.
Nice. We had that B-roll. He didn't have any of the footage from those restaurants, so we had the B-roll, the music, all of it, all done. Right. The idea here is just making it simple as possible for you just to record, upload into the app, and then be done with it. Right. There's no other waiting process. And then it also comes down to the aspect of we'll do your designs too. So whether it's for your stories or just simple posts, we're going to take care of that. It's all custom. And so that's what we do for you at Social Realtor. We try to make that process as easy as possible.
I'm curious, do you have recommendations? Again, a little off topic. What stand do you recommend people use if they're recording on their phone?
Stand like a
Yeah,
tripod.
like whether it's on a desk or on the phone or on the ground and they want to put their phone in something to
Oh yeah,
stabilize it.
tripod's great. You can do one of those if you're driving all the time, and you're like, I just don't have time. I'll always use my car. Get a car mount. Mount that. It's like one of those magnets in the back of your phone. That's fine. But yeah, just a tripod and start with that. No problem.
Yeah. And then I know you mentioned a few platforms like YouTube, or did you mention YouTube? I know you mentioned Google Business Profile, but where all do you distribute the content?
Yeah, we hit every platform based off of like packages, right? But if we're talking about all in, which isn't even that much, we're gonna do YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, uh, X, Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm sure I'm missing even one in there, but yeah, we try to hit as many as possible for sure.
What if an agent doesn't have a profile on one of those platforms, but they say, yeah, I do want to start posting there? Do you help set up the profiles?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. We'll help you set it up, and but we're not gonna like make it super super pretty. I mean, you could request some graphics for that to be designed after you're signed up and all that for sure. But when you're coming through the system, we'll just help you create it. From there, whatever you want to do with that profile now that you have on whatever platform, go by it and like go do your thing on it. Yeah.
And so let's say someone goes all in, they've been working with you like 6 months or a year, they've created all of this content, they've posted all these reels, these graphics. What's the main goal? Is it digital presence is growing? They've grown their followers. Are they getting interactions? Is it beyond just getting followers and likes? Are they getting comments? Are they getting conversations started? Are they adding calls to actions on these videos? Like what happens after they post the content?
Oh, I love it. Like, this is a great question. Some agents come in and they're just like, I'm wanting to do videos for views and likes, but it's not about making videos for views and likes. It's about making videos for prospecting, right? It's about making videos to build your name, to build the brand. That's it, right? It's to stay top of mind. I'm not going after to try to make you a huge influencer or something like what maybe I accomplished back in the day. Like, that's not the goal. The goal here is to get you the right eyeballs. If I'm getting you hundreds of thousands of views, and it's all across North America, that doesn't help you, right? But if I could get you 5 or 10,000 views or something like that, and it's local, that's really good. Those are local eyeballs. At the end of the day, though, I tell people, don't look at that. The idea here is just stay top of mind, right? And do you want to work with the realtor who hasn't done anything online in 2, 3 years? Or do you want to work with the person that looks busy, right? That's staying out there, that's being relevant. I mean, that's what I would want to go with. At the end of the day, brand build yourself. That's it. It's like kind of like a CRM too. I tell people, not at all, but I'm like, say it's like your database in a sense too. It's your family, it's your friends, it's past clients. If they follow you on socials, yes, you got your newsletters, but also you got your video content too, right? Just keep existing in their mind. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What if someone has long form content and they have really great content in there? Can someone send that to you and you can help create short form clips from it?
Oh yeah, people have podcasts with us and they'll just send us the podcast and we'll get clips out of that. Absolutely. A real like any realtor that comes to me though, and they haven't been making a lot of content consistently for a while, I always advise them, don't go all in on trying to do long format. Don't, right? It's a lot more work, right? There's a lot more preparation that goes into this. Start with the short form. And that's why we really focus on that. Like, yes, we do long format editing, but we don't even like try to sell you on it unless we know that you're going to be a good client, a good fit after we've got to know you a little bit. But like, if you're just coming in here and you haven't been consistent with video, just make shorts. It's easy. You just hold up the phone, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. I wouldn't even go longer than that. Everyone has what I call TikTok brain. I think everyone knows that slogan now, right? We're just like, right? So short, punchy content. That's it. Keep it short. And
Yeah.
that's the best way to go about it, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you maybe a trickier question for you in this day and age of being a business owner and entrepreneur. Business owners, including myself, we're always looking for a way to measure the success of any new endeavor we're taking, and making sure it's worth the effort we're putting in. So, how do your clients measure the success and the results of the content they're creating and the effort they're putting in, and making sure that it's worth the input? Is the output worth the input, I guess, is what I'm asking. How are they measuring that?
Yeah, we measure this a couple of different ways. So, number one, have we helped you get consistent with video? If we've gotten you consistent with video, that's a huge win, right? Secondly, right, is I would say, yeah, have you seen your engagement go up through video and all of that? Because a lot of realtors maybe have done social media and they're just doing their little posts. But you know this too, right? And that is that posts never do as well as video. Video is more engaging, right? People are going to just be drawn to it. Creates better first impressions. So there's that aspect. And the final one is not even about video, it's about Google business profiles. If have we ranked you higher in search results? Have we got you into a top 10 position, top three, number one, right? We track you from the very beginning of where you ranked. And when you want to go look for it, there's a report and you can see you're climbing. And you can even go and research yourself and see what you've accomplished. And not just the rankings. If you worked with us for like 3 months, I would hope and I would expect you've gotten phone calls, you've taken meetings, you've gotten listings. And this is something that, our clients do accomplish if we're especially working on every platform for them.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence, that is the buzzword of this year. Have you seen any clients incorporate artificial intelligence into their strategy or into their content creation at all? And is it helping or hurting them?
And it makes it easier. And I think people really should adopt it for sure. If you're someone who struggles with ideas, sure, it might be a little bit more generic, but ChatGPT. But if you're following the principle of go local, grow local, have it just maybe give you ideas that support that framework, which is like, can you give me history, right? What are some great restaurants if you don't want to like Google that, right? Or other aspects of it. What are some popular hikes in my area? What are the top schools that I can go talk about, right? Those are just video concepts that you can bring out of ChatGPT. But other forms of AI related to what we do, you know, there's not a whole lot that the client needs to do with if they were to work with us other than record. So that's why I was like, I just brought up the ChatGPT aspect of it. But yeah, there's other aspects of their business where AI could definitely help them that we're not, specialists in. But I love there's like motion, you got Notion, there's fireflies.ai if you want to record your meetings. I mean, there's so many different AI tools out there that definitely explore those.
Yeah, yeah, and to be like fully transparent, I used it to help me prepare for this interview. I scraped your website and then I used it to help craft these questions, but I didn't just take it as is. Like, you don't want to take anything that AI gives you as is. I used it as a starting point to help me get past writer's block, and I have a custom GPT for this format of content I create. So it knows what I'm looking for, but I use it as talking points. I don't just go like reading a script and just act like a robot, but it definitely helps me get past writer's block. And then post interview, I use it to help me create a teaser post from the transcript the day before, and then help me obviously create the content after the fact for the actual post on all of the platforms. So it definitely helps save time for sure.
Oh yeah, like that's a great one too. Is like if you use something like Descript, right, where you put your video in there afterwards and it gives you the whole transcript of the whole video of everything that was said. You can copy and paste that, put that in ChatGPT, and then you get some titles off that, descriptions, whatever. But there's so many different things you can do, right? And I feel like a lot of that is going to be for very select people. I think for most realtors I speak to and talk to, we're ground level with this stuff, right? And the habit hasn't been created to begin with, and so right now it's let's create some habits. So don't get intimidated. There's a lot out there, and it's just start, just just start, just create the
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah. The main use case I could think of on the agent side is if you're interviewing a business owner or a local business owner and you need help crafting some questions to help you get past that writer's block. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. And that's I think with I was kind of just building off of what I was saying with the just start, right? And there's a lot of like tools out there. I think that's why what you're doing is so awesome, right? Because follow up boss, you got an awesome CRM, but sometimes you want someone to come in and just like build it out for you, make sure all the systems are aligned. I would say that's kind of like what we're doing too, is right? You don't have to think about all the editing and what should I say, all this stuff. Just you're just like, hey, just give us what you got here. We'll do the rest. So
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me, before I forget, in the description, I'm going to put a link to the teaching session I did with you just a couple of weeks ago.
yeah,
If you, well, you probably should. As you start creating this content, either on your own or with the help of Social Realtor, which we'll be sharing in a second of how you can get into contact with them, you should be starting to generate conversations with people, and you don't want those conversations to get missed because these social platforms are not CRMs. So I'll put a link in the description for the teaching session I did to help you ensure you don't miss those conversations. But Trent, last question before we go. If someone wants to learn more about Social Realtor, maybe even schedule a call, where should they go?
it's right there on our website, socialrealtor.com. You can either just sign up on the spot or you can click book a meeting. Alternatively, you can follow me on Instagram at Trent Stonehouse. Shoot me a DM. Any questions you have about Google, like ranking higher or social media, whatever, just hit me up. I'm happy to help you. And if you want to book a meeting with me, happy to try and arrange something with you there.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, Trent. This was super valuable. I have a lot of takeaways, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers did as well.
Awesome. Elena, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Yeah, definitely.